nga mwagambye nti nno olina okwetuma ng'okola research
True.
jobs.
Yes, you have to be.
Kati awo mbeera na plani nze nti ngenda bba nkola eno experiment in this time, it has to end in this time. So, kati wane eno mbeerawo for some time nenzirayo eri resuming.
And job like always just part-time.
It's I wouldn't say it's permanent, but it's a contract that has a certain duration.
But you can as well renew the contract.
Yes, it has to be renewed.
You're doing industrial research or
it's
what we call the
academic.
Okay. Today we are joined by a Ugandan whose journey from Makerere University has taken him to cancer research in Spain. Jason, please say hi to our listeners and introduce yourself to our people who are going to be watching you for the very first time.
Hello, I'm Jason Lubega, and currently I'm a PhD student in applied medicine in University of Navarra, and I've been there now 4 years. Yes, I left Uganda after my bachelor's degree in Biomedical Sciences at Makerere University. Yes.
So Jason, there's so many people. Our channel focuses on opportunities for young people, for young Africans. And I know there are people who probably have applied for a scholarship for their undergraduate and didn't get it. And so your story is going to resonate so much with them. What was it like? How did you move from graduating from Makerere University and now there's this scholarship to study your master's in Spain? If someone chose to take that route, how did you figure it out?
Well, it wasn't the ordinary apply for a scholarship or apply for the university admission or anything.
Yes.
So after my bachelor's degree at Makerere, I decided to volunteer at molecular biology labs in Molago. Yes, so from there, I was working on a few different things. Then a project came, they put me on board. So now I had a job, which was for 6 months. It's short contract, but I was not idle. Yes, so while I was working there, LinkedIn, I think, was a new thing. We had just left lockdown. Yes, so I had a LinkedIn account. And on that LinkedIn, I started posting the instruments I was using in the lab, because I was passionate about the research, the DNA. I was seeing sci-fi stuff in Uganda. In Uganda, for me, DNA was interesting. So I posted some machines we were using on LinkedIn. And I think I can still trace that post. Yes, but then, you know how when you put things out there, you don't know who's watching.
Who is watching, true.
Exactly. So there's some guy who was already in Spain. He was a Ugandan, and he was already at this research center. So he had done his master's and he had graduated. So he was looking for a replacement. This is an opportunity that they should be advertising.
Yes.
But instead of advertising, they need someone who has the experience that's close to what they're looking for.
Okay.
And when you do the applications, everyone comes.
Yeah.
so it's so hard to sort them out.
Experience without the experience, everybody's just there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's hard to sort them out. So this guy reached out to me and he's like, hey, I have seen your post, I've read your profile, and I think you qualify for this role. We have a position here. So I thought it was a joke, but I followed through. So what do I need to do? This guy tells me, you can send this application to my boss and a cover letter. This guy actually helped me to do the cover letter, because now when you're fresh out of school, those things are hard to figure out. What
And
do
that's
they
one
need?
thing I tell employers, like they need to give grace to graduates. Like it's very unfair to expect them to know everything.
Exactly. So this guy helped me write the application letters, the cover letters, and I sent them to the boss. And the boss, I don't know if there were not so many candidates, but but he was like, okay, I like his curriculum. And he was like, before I knew it, he handed me over to the project manager to start working on my visa to leave. So it was a direct opportunity. and it came out of the blue. Really. I think I'm one lucky human.
Maybe the other thing we wanted to ask, a lot of students in Uganda who end up doing biomedical sciences at the university, students who probably wanted to end up in pharmacy and medicine and somehow did not, either they missed the cutoff point and didn't end up there, so most of them get sent to biomedical sciences. Was it your choice? Like, this is what I wanted to do. Or it was a similar situation that I found myself here, so let me make lemon out of lemon. Let me make lemonades out of lemons.
It was more of the second option. Okay, choosing biomedical sciences. You know everyone that does BCM, because I did BCM in my
medicine,
city.
pharmacy.
Yes, there are those traditional courses they know. And there are so many other courses at the university that people don't know. So, when we were filling our PUJAB forms, I filled medicine, of course, a pharmacy, and veterinary medicine. Yes, but that one, I didn't like it so much, the veterinary medicine. So for my third choice, I put biomedical science. How did I know about biomedical science? I was filling my PUJAB forms, and there was my OB at Mengo who was already studying medicine and surgery at 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒐𝒏𝒂𝒍. So he called me and I told him, I'm filling my PUJAB forms. Which courses do you know that I can do with the VCM? Then he told me there's this good course at our university. It's called Biomedical Science. I was like, okay, we can do that. So I didn't know what they do. Yes, I didn't know what biomedical scientists do, for sure. But I put it there. It felt like a better choice than veterinary medicine or education. We almost fell out with my dad for not putting education.
Needs to be your safety net.
Yes, but I didn't want it to be my safety net because I was going to get it.
Definitely. Education, anytime you put it in that you're getting the education.
Exactly. So I knew that and I said there's no way it's going on that form. He got mad, but I told him this is my future. And he respected it. So when the admissions came out, I had gotten biomedical sciences. And now we start researching, what is this course? My father knew some doctor who practices in Mitiana, where our home is. So he asked him, at that time I think he was the principal. He asked him, what is this course? Then they told him good things about the course. They told him another thing. After this course, you can join medicine. Yes, you can join medicine in third year. And my parents were sold. We're like, okay, let's do this course. You will join medicine after. So that's what happened. They went there very happy because there was a what? The option of doing medicine. Now, I go to Makerere, I start doing this course. We are studying. But I was a curious student. So these things that we were studying, they were like igniting a whole new world. Understanding how the body works and you see the insides of the body. Sorry.
The inside, like anatomy.
Yes,
Yeah.
anatomy. They were interesting things, really, because it's like you're exploring. So, but remember, the plan was to do what? Medicine after. So I do this, I study this course. That's why I met Tifa, actually. That's why I met Tifa. And so, fast forward. Biomedical science is a research degree. So in our final year, we do placements at different laboratories, UCI, National Health Laboratories, blood bank. Yes, so in those places, you learn a lot of things about the body. So you decide what do you want to do. But for me, since I was watching a lot of sci-fi movies, Avengers, Simanya, they made Hulk from DNA editing. I was like, yes, I want to do molecular biology, things to do with DNA. So that was already decided. So I go there and I finish my DNA. Now, after graduation, the question was putting your name on the list of joining medicine. But for me, it was a hard decision. I had to think it over so many times. For my other colleagues, it was an obvious.
Yeah, they really wanted medicine. And actually, people who focus more on medicine, they don't take time to explore what exactly the course they're doing at the time, like how big, how
Exactly. It's
deep,
not
like
the goal.
what are the interesting areas in
Yes.
that very course. They're just
Exactly.
looking that I'm here, but this is what I'm looking to exactly.
Yes, so that's what happened. But meanwhile, I was studying this degree, I was seeing a lot of things. And there's the internet. You can always ask, what are they doing in this field? So I got interested in a field called gene therapy in my
It's a
final
very good
year.
one.
Yes. But there's nothing to do with gene therapy around here. Mulago, where, nothing. But you Google, there's a drug they called Luxtuna. It's a gene therapy for an eye disease. But that medicine costs like $1 million.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. Costs like $1 million.
And the dose, like, how is the dose like?
I don't know if you need one dose or two. But one dose should be enough.
Now you might find that it's just a vial for 1 m and then you have to take like 10 or 5.
No. And now with gene therapy, it has some long-term effects. Like when they treat you with this gene therapy, they change the cells and they stay there for a long time. That's one of the advantages of gene therapy. Yes. I wanted to do genome editing, things of, interesting stuff.
You should be interested in the CRISPR.
Exactly.
CRISPR-Cas9.
CRISPR stuff.
Yeah.
How to give humans wings. Things like that. But they weren't there, so I kept looking for opportunities. And that was the same time when I was volunteering where? Yes, and that's when this guy reached out to do what? In gene therapy. So I went there on a research role for 1 year. That's their contract. So they bring you, they train you in gene therapy and everything. And if they like you, or if there's something that they would like you to stay doing, they'll give you another contract. But usually the contract is 1 year. After that 1 year, you pack and come back.
Yeah. Okay, Jason, before we really go any further, I wanted to ask a question of biomedical. Is it biomedical engineering? Yes. Biomedical sciences. Because now you see, as we say, that many people do this course, but then they're looking at medicine, so they get to miss it out. Can you please give us a brief details about what biomedical sciences is all about? Maybe people out there will now start looking at it as a course, and a very important course, than just chasing medicine, which they're not actually going to benefit from. Yeah.
It's because now we have students, like especially out of Uganda, who study what we call the science of nature and life. So there we have the microbiology, the biotechnology, we have the biochemistry, the toxicology, genetics, and there's so many of those courses under there. And most of them, when they come to Uganda, and probably there's not space or they're not finding their feet, they're figuring, wait, this is not what to do. That's why everyone, probably a lot of people who do BCA, BCB, it's always medicine or pharmacy. They don't understand that, okay, there's options. There's so much you can do. Yeah, so probably help our listeners who are in that position.
Those are very important questions you're raising. Because when we were also starting this course, we were looking for those things, that material. Who has done biomedical science in this country? What are they doing? Exactly, but we didn't find so many leads. Yeah, so to the first point, what is biomedical science? Biomedical science is, I would compare it to what people understand, which is medicine. The first 2 years of medicine are formation years. They give you the fundamentals of what you will need to go to the clinic and treat a person. Yes, so you learn all the theory about the body, biomedical sciences. So that includes anatomy. You're going to be studying about structures of the body, bones, muscles, where the nerves, where do the blood vessels pass, so that if you need to do a surgery in future, you know that this is where exactly, this is where this nerve passes, this is where this blood vessel is. So that's anatomy. But biomedical sciences includes a lot of disciplines. For example, biochemistry. The drugs that we use, that we take, we need to know how they work, which processes they affect in the human body. And that's biochemistry. Yes. There's biochemistry, you can link it with pharmacology.
Yes, because eventually people do biochemistry end up with.
Yes. Now, pharmacology, this is a direct specialization of how medicines work. So you study, it's a big book. Yes, there's a big book called 𝒂𝒊𝒄, but in this book, it has all systems. That if someone has omulalo abeera atya schizophrenia. Yes, it's a condition that affects them. People here think that abalalu baba babaloze, but it could actually be an imbalance in the receptors in your brain. But to understand that, that's where the pharmacology comes in. And actually in 𝒐𝒑𝒑𝒐𝒏𝒂𝒍, these people are treated with drugs and they get better. Exactly. So this is biomedical science, and I've only touched 3 of the things that we studied. What else? Physiology, to say that you see why doctors put that stethoscope on your chest to understand if it's normal, if you have any murmurs. Exactly. So you study all this in the biomedical sciences. All doctors study biomedical sciences. Yes.
I heard like that some people do biomedical science for 2 years and then after they enroll to medicine direct. Like some first finish the biomedical science, then go for medicine, but others do it the 2 years and then continue with medicine.
Okay, yeah, I will clarify on that, because in Makerere, the first 2 years are shared.
Oh, you all study medicine.
Yes.
Okay.
Biomedical sciences are studying with medical students, everything, even the exams. So we separate nothing. Now, in the 3rd year, that's when the medicine students go to do the clinical work. Yes. Now, for us, this 3rd year, that's when you go and do attachments. Attachments at different labs where they do different things, specialized labs. But also, it's the year where you do research. Something that I think it's done in medicine, the 4th year, COBAS, or something like that. But for us, our research is... So you choose which topic that you want to study. Yes, you were saying about microbiology earlier. It's something I haven't spoken about in biomedical sciences.
Microbiology. Yes.
So I think people will understand these disciplines of microbiology when we relate them to daily life. Yes. Now, someone will hear microbiology and be like, what is that? When you get flu or a cough, the doctors need to know which exact bacteria is causing this flu, so that they give you the medicine that works on this exact bacteria, because not every cough you take the same medicine. Exactly. Now that's one. Making yogurt. They use bacteria to make yogurt. Exactly. But when people hear this, they might be like, yogurt is harmful. No. There's bacteria that is, that is good for the body. Even in your gut, in your stomach, you have bacteria that is normal, that is supposed to be there.
Because in the moment that they're called normal flawless, the moment that normal flawless is cleared out, serious problems
Diseases.
happen.
Exactly. Yes. So there's bacteria in your stomach that can help you digest food and everything. So not all bacteria is bad. So the study of all those things is what they call microbiology. Yes. You had another question?
So for our listeners, for you who do not know, Jason has a very heavy CV. He holds a bachelor's degree in biomedical sciences from Makerere University, a master's degree in biomedical research and specializations in advanced therapies, and regenerative medicine from the University of Navarra in Spain, and is currently pursuing his PhD in applied medicine and biomedicine. And his research focuses on oncolytic viruses that can be used to fight cancer. So Jason, now we are going to talk about your first time in France, in Spain. You've moved from Uganda, you've done school here, and then you've talked about the 1 year you did of research. That's the 1 year that helped you earn your master's, or then you had to go to school to actually do your master's, because I think that was sort of like an industrial master's or industrial research. Okay.
Okay. So, my first year in Spain.
Yes. Now you're going to a place where they don't speak the language.
Exactly. And you notice that when you get to the airports of the country, now you have to ask directions. Where do we go?
Now you have to take the trains.
Yes, and I
That
took
you
the
don't
train
even
actually at my first flight in the airport.
Did you get lost? Did you get off at the right stop?
Yes, I did. But you can follow the signs and
okay.
reach. But speaking the language, I had done my Duolingo here.
And you're sure I can.
Yes, I was sure. I can ask for food. I can mention what I can't eat and things like that. So I reached there. Duolingo just gave me baby class of Spanish. Because you reach there and you cannot communicate. And that's where the translators came in handy. So I had to use the translators all the time. But the good thing with the approach of the translators, you can try speaking, and actually it helps you learn the language. Yes, you try to read it and say it as you think it is. But of course, you get to know this later, that you're not getting the accents right and everything. You're not pronouncing things like they are.
Translation.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
That gets lost, like in meaning with the translation. Sometimes you put and then it's saying something else.
Lost in translation.
Yes, it's lost in the translation.
So I reached there. I had an advantage that I'm in a research institute. It's called CIMA, which is Center for Applied Medical Research. Yes. But since it's in their language, it's Centro de Investigación Médico Aplicada. Yes. But this is the English translation. So there, people speak English because English is like the research language.
Yes, definitely.
Exactly. Research
The
articles.
publication
everything.
also.
Yes. So I didn't have a problem communicating or fitting in where I was. But, of course, this is their language they have grown up with. If they want things to go fast, they speak in Spanish. English is a learned language. It's a second language. So most people, they would prefer to speak their language to English, even though they could speak some English. They were also embarrassed to make mistakes because it's a second language. You get?
And I feel that's also another problem. Like for people who learn new languages, we are so scared of making a mistake. And then so you're like, I'll speak English. I'm not ready to speak French to be making that mistake.
But since I was going to learn gene therapy, something that I've always dreamed of, I was only watching YouTube videos here in Uganda.
And the opportunity.
Now I was there in the place where it's done. So the mission was, I had my own mission to learn what this gene therapy is about. If I want to make a gene therapy treatment, what do I need? Yes, because here you just know gene therapy, you watch a YouTube video, but you don't have the full context. What do they do? Now I was in this lab. They're already working to treat cancer. They are using a gene therapy, which includes using viruses. When people hear viruses, they feel,
think of HIV,
we are going to die.
whooping cough,
But
influenza.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. But all these viruses, they are in their natural form. It's their natural form that causes the what? The diseases. But the ones in the laboratory, we take out all their DNA and we put in the DNA when we have removed the genes that cause diseases, exactly, the pathogenic genes. And we put in the genes that are therapeutic. Therapeutic are medicinal genes. Why do we use viruses? It's because they naturally infect the body. And some of these viruses are known that this virus likes the liver so much. This virus likes the brain so much. Exactly. So if you want to treat something in the brain, you get the one that likes the brain so much. Exactly. So that's what they call precision medicine. That for this other medicine, it's the headache that's paining, but you have to swallow it, and it goes to the stomach. Those things. Exactly. So with this gene therapy, you direct it to the place that you want it to go to. Exactly. So there you minimize the toxicity of the drugs, and also these viruses, they express these genes for a long time, so that you don't need to be taking medicine every 2 times a day, 2 times a week. You get. Yes. So you can be able to treat people for a month without seeing the side effects. And actually, they are more beneficial to diseases that are caused by genetic mutations. You're correcting genes. You're not going to swallow a medicine to correct a gene. Exactly. You need something that carries that gene to take it to the body. Yes. For example, I don't know if we have people know any genetic diseases in our local languages.
Any genetic diseases?
In our local languages, nothing.
No, look, but you can use English, I think.
Okay.
There's some of them are commonly said in English.
Exactly. For example, you can have a blindness, but you inherited this blindness. Your jaja was blind or some colorblind or anything, and they produce someone, and is also
carries on the
exactly
gene.
they are blind. But what's missing here is that there's a mutation or a change in the genes. You can load a virus with this gene that is functional, and you put it in the eye, and they start seeing. Exactly. These are things that were not known before, things that you cannot treat with medicine, which you swallow.
Interesting.
Yes.
Also, I think sickle cell. I don't know whether this
Yes,
is
sickle
online
cell.
but they are trying to do like gene therapy. for
Yes.
sickle cell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, last year or 2 years ago, they treated the first person with sickle cell with gene therapy, and they healed. Yes. The only problem is, since these are new treatments, they're expensive, but with time, they will become cheaper and they become more accessible.
Because what's interesting, for example, the person has been treated. Now they've gotten rid of that specific gene. So when he or she gives birth, the gene is not going to be carried. Because now she's transmitting a normal gene
Yes.
to the offsprings. Yeah. Yeah, like
So about the scholarship, I understand you did your master's on a scholarship and also your PhD, right? Yeah, and then our last video was about the niche opportunities. So these are opportunities outside scholarships, because most people understand scholarships. All they know is they're chasing and looking, digging deep and deep, looking for scholarships. Yet there are other opportunities like the research grants and ABC. So research assistantships. Yes. So could you please tell us, was just a scholarship? Was it a research grant? So how is that? Yeah.
Well, it was a research grant, but at the same time, they were looking for a research assistant. Yes. It came in a way that there's this non-profit. It's called Fundación Nama. Fundación is like their translation for an NGO. Yes, non-profit. Yes. So they had a program called AfriLab. They wanted to help African professionals, African science professionals, to have an experience in Spain in their lab, to teach them gene therapy, and maybe they could invent something with them. Yes. So this is the whole scholarship. Yes. So they take you there. You don't study anything. You are in their lab, doing what they do, assigning you experiments, teaching you what you need to do. So they like set you up for those things. So if you feel like you're set up enough, you're curious, you're inquisitive, you can pop in your question and you can be funded. So I got lucky. that while I was there towards the end of my 1 year that they gave me, we stumbled upon a very nice research topic. Yes, and they handed it to me. So while I was doing it, my boss was very happy with the results that were coming out. So when my contract expired, he gave me an extension to get this topic somewhere. And then the extension that he gave me was not a full year. Yes, because we already passed the contract period. He gave me 6 months. Now 6 months got done. And we had made some strides and it was looking promising. And I was the person that was in charge of this topic.
Yeah.
So it was, he decided to give me another extension for another year. It came half, but for another year. Now, while I was there, I talked to him and I was like, you know what? I had planned to do a master's degree in this coming year and I'll be on the lookout for it. So I actually applied to the University of Manchester for a master's degree in nanomedicine. And I actually got in.
Brian is interested in nanomedicine, by the way.
Actually, that's when I got in there, there's one thing I realized. Some of these things we fear them because these institutions have reputations. But if you actually shoot your shot, you can get in.
Nothing to lose.
Exactly. So I got the admission of University of Manchester and I told my boss that, you know what, I've gotten this admission. But since I've been driving this topic, I want to see where it goes. I want us to get to, animal testing. Because that's when it gets to animal testing now, you're starting to see your results in a living system, an animal. So he told me, you know what? Oh, you also apply to this university because this institution that I'm working with is attached to the University of Navarra. Yes. So he told me you also apply. I will look for the tuition. Yes.
So you were applying not for a scholarship, but private based.
Exactly. I was applying. The conditions were you're going to be working on this research topic that you are doing. I said, no problem. And he also said, yes, I'll be paying you your stipend as it has been. So for me, it was an obvious choice because for the University of Manchester, I needed to relocate to the UK. I needed to pay some big money, which I didn't have. So I declined that opportunity. Yes, and took this one.